What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. I am self-aware, diagnosed narcissist Lee Hammett, and I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for NPD. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about grief and narcissistic people, grief and toxic people. How do narcissists handle grief that they are going through? How do narcissists handle grief that you, the survivor, victim, are going through? Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Thank you. So a lot of narcissists and toxic people will handle grief differently. So I, in particular, kind of get avoidant when somebody around me passes away. So it kind of also depends on who actually passed away and how close they were to the narcissistic person. Because if they're not close to the narcissist, if they're actually your family, the person's family dealing with the narcissist, that's in a relationship with them, and things like that. If it's your family, they typically will disconnect from you. They'll avoid you. They'll be dismissive of you, and they'll, just leave you be. You really cannot depend on a narcissist to provide you a shoulder to cry on when somebody close to you passes away. You just can't do that. The lack of empathy will bleed through. But on the other side of things, if somebody close to the narcissist passes away, they could actually start grieving a lot. It really depends on how close they were to the narcissist. But a lot of narcissistic people still, if somebody close to them passes away, they'll disconnect as well. They'll act like nothing happened. Well, they were old. They were sick. What do you expect? Get over it. Everybody dies. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. So if you couldn't read the text on the screen, it says, can you talk about how a narcissist handles grief if somebody passes away? Yeah, I can talk about that. I just spent that whole video, that little 60-second video talking about that, y'all. That's what I did. So let's say this is gonna be a two-parter, but I don't like doing two parts with like this video and another video. So this two parts are gonna be in one video, and it's not gonna be long, y'all. Stay tuned. Like stay to the end. So it's a wild ride. It's like a roller coaster of fun narcissism. I'm just joking. Nothing about narcissism is fun, y'all. We know that. But yeah, so part one, how do they handle grief if somebody in your family, somebody around you, the survivor, the victim, the thriver, whatever stage you're in dealing with this narcissist, how do they handle the grief that you are going through? So typically, every narcissist is going to be different, y'all. I'm just letting you know. Some narcissistic people will pretend to be highly empathetic during this time period just to get brownie points to use against you later on. They will pretend to be there for you. They'll be there for you. They'll do all the good stuff for you. They'll be the shoulder to the crown, all this other stuff. But it's kind of insidious because they're going to use it against you later on. Because now you can't ever say they weren't there for you. You can't say I wasn't there for you. You remember when your aunt died and I was there for you? I cried. I stayed up all night. I dealt with the crying, the whining. I dealt with all your shit for that, blah, 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 blah. You don't say I never been there for you. See? They'll use it against you later on. And it makes it seem like it wasn't genuine grief that they were going through. It wasn't genuine empathy they were using towards you in that situation. Because they'll do that. They'll do that stuff like, yeah, anything you say and do, or anything a narcissist says and does to you can and will be used against you in the court of narcissism. It just is. This is not me trying to like poke fun at it. This is anything that they do for you. Any good deed, no good deed goes unpunished. No good deed goes unused. No good deed from a narcissistic person does not get stored in their like little backpack of good deeds. It does not get deposited. It gets deposited into the bank of narcissism, so they can withdraw. They can make a withdrawal anytime you say they haven't done anything for you. Oh, you say I never done anything for you? Let me go to the bank real quick. Hey, can I withdraw that grief on May 18th, 2022? That grief, the aunt passed away. Cool. Just give me half of it. Me have to leave some of it in there. I might use it. I might use some for a rainy day. They'll withdraw. What the hell? They'll withdraw that grief and use it against you. That time that they were there for you, they'll use it against you. Other times when you are grieving, they will just completely disconnect from you and ignore you and act like you don't exist, or be very, very mean to you and detrimental and aggressive towards you because you're grieving. You get like, I would say when you deal with a narcissist, the time period that a narcissist gives you to grieve around them varies. You might get a couple hours and they tell you still in here damn crying? Damn. Your aunt was literally 98 years old. No, no, she was 98 years old. Like, what did you expect her to live another 98 years? Come on, grow up. I'm tired of hearing this. You're ruining the mood. You're ruining the day and things like that. They will tell you that type of stuff, y'all. They absolutely will. They will tell you that type of stuff, like you're ruining the mood, you're ruining the day by grieving, by crying. Y'all, if that person, how that person passes away is important as well. It really, really is important. How that person passed away is important, because if they were old, you need to get over it. They were old. If they've been sick for a long time, hey, they were sick. What do you expect? You know what I mean? Everybody dies, things like that. They can just, or if they just pass away of natural causes, hey, everybody dies. You're gonna die. When you die, you want me to sit here and spend all day crying, or you want me to get over it and keep moving on my life and do the best for me? What you want the best for me, even when you pass away, right? You know, because sometimes I'm just telling you, they will become dejected, and leave you alone. Like I said, me in my self-awareness, like my wife has had a few people die in her family. Like before the self-awareness, did anybody pass away before the self-awareness? Not that I know of. Not anybody. I don't think, like my wife's mom passed away before we even met. So she was already passed away. So I have to deal with that grief every year on her mom's birthday, which is Valentine's Day, and every year on the day that she passed away, or when, any kind of milestone. It's like residual grief that she's not here. Any type of milestone, like she's a mom now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like anytime they experience anytime that grief comes up, I had to deal with it. And I just like, I'm okay. Of course, y'all. I don't have a lot of empathy, but I'm there for her. I know this day is gonna be tough for us. I talk to her. I'm an ear to listen to. I do as much as I can. I just like, I'm telling y'all how I used to grieve, to handle grief. Like, oh, cool, damn, they passed away. But that's how it goes. That's how my mind works, though, y'all. That's how a lot of narcissistic people's mind will work. They will just, they don't know how to handle grief, because grief is an emotion. Like we don't connect. We experience all the emotions, but sometimes experiencing these emotions is awkward. It makes us feel weird. It makes us actually feel weak and things like that. You know what I mean? So a lot of narcissistic people will do this. That's how we handle it, y'all. So anything else cover when somebody passes away in your family? Yeah, they'll get, sometimes, like I said, sometimes they'll become angry at you. You know what I mean? If they didn't like, it also depends on the relationship they had with the person. If it's somebody in your family or somebody that you know that they didn't like, they'll just they might celebrate on you. They might dance on their grave. Oh, wow, they passed away? Wow, it seemed like, karma came and got them. Not soon enough. You know what I mean? And they'll, like, you were crying, they just smiling, like, celebrating, like, yes. You know what I mean? Don't expect the narcissistic person, the toxic person, to handle grief with you well, y'all. So many people, you get in these situations, and now that you know what you're dealing with, don't expect them to grieve correctly like that. Especially if it's something that doesn't affect them personally. Like if you had let's say you had a miscarriage or something like that. Yes, if you're a woman, you're going to be grieving a very specific type of way. You were carrying a baby and things like that, and the baby passed away. It doesn't matter how far along you were. There's a miscarriage, it's a miscarriage. So the narcissistic person, a lot of times they don't see the unborn as people. So they don't, they don't see the unborn as people. So they don't connect to that. They're just like, oh, cool. I mean, whatever. Or they'll blame you for your lifestyle and stuff like that. They'll hold it against you. They'll tell you to get over that grief. Wow, the baby wasn't even born. And you heard crying like this? Like, oh my God, you're way too emotional. You need to get over it. You need to live your life. It wasn't boom, 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 beep, beep, beep. It really just depends, y'all. They don't see the unborn as people. This video is running on kind of long. Dang, I ain't wanted to go this long. But I don't want to do two videos on grief, y'all. So part 2, how do narcissists handle grief when they are going through, when we ourselves are experiencing it. Well, again, it's gonna be a different type of mindset, y'all. Like when I think I've had a few people pass away since I've been with my wife, though. My aunt, my grandma, 2 of my grandmas, my aunt. I've been to a few funerals, but like 2 of my grandmas and my aunt, like all very, very close to me. And I was in that food line. It's a food line by my house. I was in the food line for both of my grandmas passing away somehow. Well, it was my aunt. Yeah, one of my aunts, one of my grandmas passed away. Well, yeah, an aunt and a grandma passed away. I found out both in my food line up the street. Somebody called me, man, grandma passed away. And I was like, dang, that sucks, man. I was just hanging the phone up, continue my shopping. My wife has been with me both times, and she'll be like, so what was that about? I was like, oh, my aunt died. And her face would get all red, and she'd be like, you can tell she's getting all, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Like she was, she was old. completely disconnected from the world. I keep shopping, going through the shopping list and things like that. I just was not connected to it like that because it didn't happen to me. Even though it's my aunt, I love my aunt. I was just super disconnected. I was just didn't and my other grandma passed away too. I was extremely disconnected, y'all. I really was. My cousin's mom passed away. I get disconnected when people pass away, y'all. I just do. You know what I mean? But my other grandma, and then my aunt passed away too. And Food Line, same thing. I'm like, dang, that sucks. He's like, man, hey, Lee, your aunt passed away. I'm like, dang, that sucks, man. Dang. My wife was like, who's that? I'm like, that's my brother telling me my aunt passed away. Here she go again. She's like, you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Like, chill. Like, I'm good. It was she lived a good life. She was fun. It's cool. And I asked my therapist that, y'all. I was just like, I'm not connected. I know my wife was looking at you like, what the hell is going on? She's like, I know my wife was worried about that, but I told my therapist, like, why don't I cry or feel this stuff when people pass away? Like, I just feel like a damn robot. I do. I feel like the narcissistic robot. Why don't I grieve when these people are passing away? But she's like, the tears will come when they need to come. You know what I mean? Just like you don't connect like that. You just don't connect. This is like a short circuit. It's a short circuit there. I cried at my aunt's funeral. You know what I mean? My grandma not so much, but my aunt, yeah, I cried at my aunt's funeral because it's just seeing the pain and everybody else's emotion. I think it was residual. It was, being in that church or whatever, it was a residual setting of emotions. It was just crazy how many people were in there crying and stuff like that, and boo-hoo, and just like, yeah, I cried, I shed tears, But other than that, I would just be disconnected. A lot of narcissistic people will disconnect when people around them pass away, or depending on how close they are. If it's their mom or dad or something like that, they'll go crazy, y'all. They will expect you to be their shoulder to cry on, and you better have a damn handkerchief ready because they're gonna be putting tears all on you. You know what I mean? Some of them will just really, really get overly emotional when somebody close to them passes away, and they will even if they were not there for you when somebody in your life passed away, maybe of even equal standing. Like if your mom passed away, they might not be there for you, but if their mom passed away, they expect you to be there for them. They just do. And if you're not there for them, they're going to hold it against you for the rest of your relationship, for the duration of your relationship. I promise you. I know people are going to say, well, Lee, that's not fair. Like, why do they get to do that? Like, I know it's not fair. I absolutely understand that it's not fair. But if you're going to deal with this narcissistic person, this is it right here. They're going to do this type of stuff. They're going to hold you to the fire and do things like that. They're going to expect you to, the double standards exist, y'all. They are going to expect you to do things that they don't. They're going to expect things to do things for them that they wouldn't do for you. And they'll lie to you and gaslight you. I was there when your mom passed away. And you be like, no, the hell you were. You shut the door on me and told me to cry. And you told me to go downstairs and cry. Like, you didn't want to be in the bed being sad. You told me to go downstairs and cry. You weren't there for me. You misremembering stuff. Like, you crazy stuff, right? You gonna argue with me? You gonna call me a liar when my mama passed away? So now you get a lot of rage too. Their emotions are gonna be up and down, high and low. So be wary, y'all, when you're dealing with narcissistic people that are dealing with grief, because they handle it differently. I know people are gonna come over here and be like, well, Lee, a lot of people do that. I understand, y'all, but I'm talking about narcissists in general. And grieving this way does not necessarily make you a narcissist, y'all. It doesn't make you a toxic person. Everybody grieves differently, but like, this is my perspective on how I handle grief as a diagnosed narcissist. You know what I mean? Because I've been on both ends of the experience. Like the person who has somebody pass away and the person who's dealing with somebody that has somebody pass away. You know what I mean? My wife had somebody in her family. Anyway, y'all, sorry if this episode ran along, y'all. This is one of my longer episodes. This is 13 minutes. Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you again. Mental Illness is out. Peace.